I'm here with Helen Blunden in Melbourne, Australia. And Helen and I met on Snapchat. We're two completely grown adults. We're not children. And we met on Snapchat. How do we explain this to the general public?
Every time that you mention to someone that you're on Snapchat or you use Snapchat, they go, "What? Isn't that for kids?"
They say that's for kids. They say that's the sexy pictures app.
Yeah. Although I wouldn't know anything about that.
Me neither. How did you first decide that you were going to open up a Snapchat account and start using it? Where did that all start for you?
It started from every man and his dog saying exactly that. They go, "Snapchat, why is everyone like, isn't that for kids?" And everywhere I turned, when I was commuting on a train, I saw kids on it. I saw so many people using it. I'm the type of person who, if everyone is using something and my kind of people, people my age or my friends are saying, "Why are you on that?" I want to always explore, because I keep thinking, if every other person is on something, therefore they are seeing something that I can't see. So I taught myself how to use Snapchat. I stuck with it. I downloaded the app, created an account, and I started snapping. It took a few months for me to really use the tool. But where it hit home was, I just remember the strangest feeling when someone responds to a Snap story with a video. So here was a stranger saying, "Hi, Helen," and I go, "Whoa, this is different." I got tired of people my own age or older telling me that it was a kids app, and I just wanted to explore it. And then the more I explored, the more I realized that I could actually use this tool to capture what I'm learning, what I'm doing during the day, and create this chronological video album, a video log of what I'm doing. So yeah, that's how I got into it. Aaron, how did you get into Snapchat?
Well, a young person, a family member who lives in another city, told me that she wanted to stay in touch with me and that Snapchat was a good way to do that. So I said, okay, I really don't feel like I belong here, but for you, I'll download it and I'll check it out and I'll start doing stuff. As soon as I got it on my phone, I started exploring its capabilities. I noticed there was a story function. I love to record videos, so I explored it and tried to use it in the most creative way possible. Then what I did was I started using other social networks to discover who else was on Snapchat. It was nice that I was able to keep in touch with this one relative, but I wanted to find who else was on it and what they were doing with it, because I wanted to see how others were using it creatively. So I'd look on YouTube, I'd look at prominent Snapchatters on YouTube, and I found a number of high profile Snapchat celebrities, I guess you could say. And I just watched what they were doing. And then I would look on places like Twitter and I would do a search on Twitter, who to follow on Snapchat. I found one person that way, which opened me up to this entire community of other people where you and I eventually met through. And then one person in this community eventually wrote a book all about Snapchat. And because we were all in the community, she asked us all to take part. I'll show the book.
Yes. That is it.
So, of course, as participants in this community and loyal community members, we all bought the book by Chelsea Pites called Talking in Pictures. This is the book all about Snapchat, and you and I and a whole bunch of other people have written little excerpts for this book. By joining Snapchat, we kind of are now captured in a piece of history.
Yes.
This is
That's
the historical work of written word all about Snapchat. And even if Snapchat disappears or dissolves, this book by Chelsea Pites will always exist. And it'll become a history book. Historical. Okay. So we just plugged Chelsea Pites. Chelsea Pites is gonna see Chelsea Pites. She met Gary Vee, right? So he's in her network, and now I talked about her book, and now we're connected to Gary Vee. We get to meet Gary Vee now.
No other network has had that kind of connection and that positive story that, you know, that everyone seems to have a feeling with Snapchat.
One thing that I've seen Snapchat as, have you ever been part of a Toastmasters club?
I've gone to meetings, but I've never joined the club.
So you know what the general idea is with a Toastmasters club. It's for leadership, to learn how to speak, public speaking better, learning.
Yeah, public speaking, presenting, communication.
Learning
skills.
public speaking better. Somehow that doesn't sound right. So what I found, because I've been a member of a Toastmasters club before, and it really did help me with speech writing and speech delivery and leadership and confidence speaking in front of groups of people. But I'll tell you, Snapchat is like having a Toastmasters club in your pocket. Because if you build a network on Snapchat and you have, say, 10, 20, 30 or more people watching you, and you're speaking every day, the more you do that, the better you get at it, and you'll get feedback. It's kind of like a Toastmasters club. And what I found over 3 years of consistently using Snapchat, my speaking and my delivery and my confidence in front of groups of people has been just incredible. So it's a great skill to have. So anybody that says Snapchat is just for kids is missing a layer, a huge layer that I think that we have covered here.
That's right. I've used it as a practice tool, a practice for video. So if I've had to do my presentations at conferences, I've actually done my presentation on Snapchat, and I've talked through my slides, and people have given me feedback, and I've improved on it. So yeah, I agree. A lot of people are just missing the whole point of Snapchat. There is so much more to it, and you could use it in all sorts of different ways. So I love it. I love it.
Now, I wanted to talk a little bit about how we use snap streaks to create momentum in a conversation from day to day, or have conversations day to day. Now, a snap streak is a number of consistent days snapping in a row. So you and I have, I think, a 60-day streak because we've sent snaps to one another every day for 60 days. This is sort of how Snapchat has gamified their app. We're turning that gamification into something else. We're basically staying accountable to one another, and we are reporting to one another something that we're working on, thinking about. There are days where I just tell you what mood I'm in, or if I don't feel like talking about anything, sometimes I just send you a picture that says, I'm alive. and then we just, we just carry on to the next day. I've done this with a few other people, and I find it is really, really useful for exchanging ideas, staying accountable for your own goals. Even if the goals have nothing to do with one another, I can tell you, these are my goals, this is what I'm working on, and here's how it's progressing. And as you watch me, I can watch you do the same thing, and it's like we sort of motivate each other.
Yeah, when you first asked to do a snap streak, I thought, wow, what's that? Because yes, it was something originally that I thought it's what kids do to each other. But then when you explain that it's all about keeping ourselves accountable and showing and sharing what we're doing for our work, or sharing a problem or an issue, or recently we've been talking about green screens, haven't we? About some ideas about green screen, about lighting, about audio. That actually then, that got my mind ticking, going, hang on, we're actually doing something really good. This is coaching and mentoring, and we're helping each other out. And we're not making it public because we're probably not ready to debate and discuss this idea with everyone. So your idea of the snap streaks and then using video to coach and mentor just one-on-one was a real eye-opener. I hadn't thought about that before. So this just goes to show that here's another opportunity of how you could use social video on a one-to-one format for learning and working purposes, and for our own development.
It's quite fulfilling. See, most people only feel fulfilled when they share with the masses. But doing this type of thing one-on-one is just as, if not more, fulfilling than sharing things with the masses.
Sometimes there's a level of trust where you have to, go to that person and say, hey, could we start this up? And like you said, we don't even mingle in the same, we're not very similar jobs, are we? We're in also different countries. So even presenting, even that is a good thing. For example, when you showed me and offered some suggestions for Canadian music. Now, I grew up here in Australia, born, bred, educated in Melbourne. And so what you offered with regards to listening to alternative, different music that I hadn't otherwise come across, or new bands, really opened my eyes. So I think sometimes we kind of miss the value of what these tools, allow us to do. They allow us to connect with people all around the world, to broaden our mindset and to give us new insights and new perspectives and new playlists that you can listen to.